That's why I think they're slightly overrated, because I feel like Josh and the Bills sometimes can get talked about as if they're just very, very upper echelon, and I think that's a little too high for them.
This is going to sound like so much hate, and I swear it's not. Welcome back to the Warner Brothas Podcast. I'm Kyle, joined by my brother Keenan, joined by Tim Gray. No Brandon Petty today. It's the three of us, minus one. We did the AFC North and AFC South predictions, along with Shot, Sip, or Piss, the world-renowned, the much-requested. Today we're going to do the AFC East and a follow-up episode of the AFC West. Will complete the AFC. Then you got the NFC next week. I don't know about y'all, but I thought we kind of killed it with AFC North and AFC South, and I'm ready to do these predictions. It's gonna be a little weird. No Brandon. We gotta come up with one. He never sent over his prediction, or his statement.
No, so I've already got the one for the AFC East, and then his one for the AFC East. So I have it under him, and then we've got it for the AFC West. So we've got a joint collection effort here. You know, when one of your teammates goes down with a little hammy injury in preseason, you got to make up for it. But you know, that's what we got. That's what we got here. Everyone's got to pick up a little bit of the slack.
Skips OTAs and then misses the second preseason game and third preseason game with injury. We're starting to get the conversations of, is he really invested to the team? Like, are they going to have to move on? Like those are the conversations going on in media circles. I'm just reporting what I'm hearing. They're wondering if we're going to trade Brandon Petty for John of Is the Hype Real podcast. Then Brandon gets his own show on Is the Hype Real podcast.
John B's just going to be upset. Hey, all I'm saying is that's what the streets are telling. That's all I'm saying. But without further ado, Kyle, Tim, you talk, and then I was to say, without further ado, Kyle, you talk. Just tell us what we're doing. Go on.
Doing solid. Today is technically the last day of my vacation that I've been on.
Ooh.
I've just been sitting at home doing nothing for the last week. Love it. It's
That's not bad at all.
Decompressing. So
that's not bad at all. You're on that vacation before the stretch run of the getting into the NFL grind. We understand.
Yeah, we about to get
ready for the NFL season.
Getting ready for the NFL season. All right, but as we are getting ready for the NFL season, Kyle, obviously you said shot, sip, or piss. Explain what that is, and then we'll hop right in.
Yes, shot, sip, or piss. Some people call it start, bench, cut, play, share, delete, as we do on Is the Hype Real podcast. But over here, it's shot, sip, or piss. You're at a bar. We throw an NFL statement, give you an example. Andrew Luck is going to throw for 55 touchdowns this year. You got to take a shot of that, which means you're all the way in. You got to take a sip of that, which means like, I could see it. Or you got to go to the bathroom and take a piss because you're not fucking with it at all. There'll be, like Keenan said, we don't have Brandon Petty today, so we're shoehorning his in. We have three of our own for the teams we were assigned. We don't necessarily have to believe. This is what's confusing on social media. If you see the social media posts, it looks like we're saying the statements and that it's going to happen. And maybe in the future, maybe next year, we'll change it to where we're like, we have to pick statements that we do believe. And I guess that kind of makes sense. But we've also picked a lot of great topics that we just kind of want to throw out there and talk and see where people are at. So it works either way, but it works definitely better if you are listening or watching than if you looked at it on social media. You're like, damn, Kyle thinks Trevor Lawrence is going to win MVP. Keenan thinks XYZ, when it's really like we're just throwing it out there. So if you're listening, you get the gist more than if you see the post on social media. But hey, either way, it gets the ball rolling.
Social media wise, if you're reading it, it's too late. Like you've just got to go to the video.
Like, yo, these guys
if you're reading this,
wild predictions.
But without further ado, I mean, hold on. Let's line this up. Who wants to start here out of the group? Timmy has been batting lead off. Do we want to continue to have him bat lead off, or how do we want to do this?
I think we should have the brother that didn't show up go first, and then we can all talk.
It's a good call. That's a great call.
Fair. Okay. So I will bring that up. Make sure we can see everything just fine on the screen. All right. So that's what Brandon's statement's going to be for the day.
Hmm.
The Patriots will have a top 5 offense in the NFL.
Brandon had a similar one last time. This is interesting. I like this one. Who wants to attack this one first?
My fandom can go first real quick, unless you want to, Tim.
Sure, I'll start us off.
You go.
I think I'll take a sip of this. I think the Patriots will have a good offense. You add A.J. Brown, you add Romeo Doubs. They drafted a lineman. Like, all the pieces are there. So I do think that there's a good chance that they have a solid offense and that could lead them. I just don't love their schedule. I would be a little bit more bought in if we knew they weren't playing a first-place schedule, playing against some other good teams. So their offense theoretically should be better than it was last year, and they had one of the best in the league last year. So it's not crazy to say that this is going to happen. But with the schedule that they're playing, they're probably going to get knocked down a little bit. So I'm going to take a sip.
I echo most of Timmy's sentiments there. I do think that the Patriots have the chance to have a top 5 offense. You've got what I believe is a top 5 quarterback in the league right now, or a guy who at least can play at that top 5 level. We saw that last year. I know the schedule was weaker, but you have that good running game with Ramondre and Travion. They still want to split that backfield, which I'm fine with. Hopefully they get a little bit more work for Travion, because I think that explosion from him really can help propel that offense. Couple that along with, okay, now we've got A.J. Brown along with Romeo Doubs, Kayshon Boutte. Now it has to be relied upon number 1. He can really just be that deep threat that he really was last year. Hunter Henry, offensive line, Pro Football Focus going into the season has it at 14th rank. So hopefully he can be around that middle of the pack offensive line, because Drake May obviously took a lot of sacks last year. So overall, I think they have the makeup to be that. But then as Timmy said, that schedule is going to be tough. And when you have a tougher schedule and they don't have a world-class offense where it's like, oh, this superstar here, that's where it's hard to be just top 5 solidified. I think I would picture them ending top 10, kind of similar to what I thought the Ravens would be. The ability to be top 5, but probably in the top 10-ish. So I would sip that.
Yeah, my answer to this is not so much based on the schedule as much as it is the run game. If this run game can be elite, if this can be like a diet version of Gibbs and Montgomery in Detroit these past few years, like if Ramondre can hold on to the ball and if Travion like really breaks out, why couldn't they? Then that would open up the passing game so much. Why couldn't they be a top 5 offense? The other part of that is the Rams are in the league. The Bills are in the league. Pick an NFC North team. The Ravens are there. Their offense is eventually going to look good, we assume. Even the Niners, even if you're down on the Niners, that offense is always humming. Like, there's just a lot of offensive teams here already where that's their identity. But the Patriots do have the making. I think if the run game shows up, why not for the Patriots? So I'm right with you guys. I'm going to sip it. I initially kind of wanted to piss at it, but I'm going to sip it.
Okay. And Brandon, what do you have? Oh, no, entire. Okay, so unfortunately, Cricket.
I got Trevor Lawrence MVP, guys. I got Trevor
Cricket's from Petty. So we'll hopefully get his take on his statement that he had for us. But all right, so Brandon's statement's out of the way. Still a good statement, Brandon. Good job. You're still here even on the off days. Timmy, do you want to go next? Kyle, do you want to go next? Sure. How do you want to go? That's okay, Tim.
Do we want to talk? Do we want to talk? Oh, okay, never mind. Go ahead.
Sorry.
I'll go.
We'll get records.
We'll
get records after.
So I got the Dolphins. I think, my statement at least is that the Dolphins will have the lowest scoring offense since the turn of the century this year.
This is in line with the Ravens one from last time. Ravens defense.
For a reference, the lowest scoring offense since the year 2000 is the 2000 Cleveland Browns. They scored 161 points, 10.1 points per game.
That's kind of crazy because we were talking about with Houston, and the Ravens allowed 10.3 points per game, and Cleveland scored 10.1 in the same season, and that's the lowest. It's kind of crazy that's and same division, same everything. That's kind of crazy how that correlates there.
Best defense of all time, the Ravens or any team that's playing against the 2000 Cleveland Browns.
Oh, God, Kyle, you start and I'll go after.
I hate it because I think I've literally sipped on everything. I've either sipped or pissed. And I think I've only took a shot of one of my statements. I think I'm going to sip this. You know what? I'm going to drink it because why not? This is going to be an awful offense. Like, who's he throwing to? There's no situation here. And let's talk about it. Like, Keenan, you got Malik Willis in the picture right there. He's your starting quarterback. He was supposed to be like, oh, this is the guy who was a backup. Now he's going to be a starter. Like, he could make that jump. He could be that guy. He could. Okay, but he's got nothing around him. Who's to say he's going to start 17 games? He's probably not going to start 17 games. I don't know what their schedule is compared to, let's say, the Cardinals, because we were going through the Cardinals schedule last time, and it's like, all right, I don't really see many wins here. And they also have an offensive game that's, pretty deficient, but they've at least got talent. The Dolphins have no talent. Yeah, they're going to face the Jets. Can they score on the Jets? I don't know. So you know what? I'm going to drink to it because, like, if it's going to be a team, it's going to be a team like this that just has absolutely no skill positions. They do have Achane. So maybe he himself, like, if he catches the right team, of course, he can break a couple. So, but I'll drink to it because, like, why not? He gets injured too. If he gets injured at all, this team is beyond cooked, and they're trying to be cooked. So, I mean, there you go.
So, bringing up the schedule here, they've got the Raiders, then the 49ers, the Chiefs, the Vikings, the Bengals. So, looking like
they could
1, 2, and 3 at best. 1 and 4 maybe, but and we'll see, obviously, the scoring wise. And the Jets, Patriots, Lions, Colts, Bills, Jets, Broncos, Bears, Packers, Chargers, Buffalo, New England. Oh my God!
The saving grace.
They better score that early, because if they get to week 12, 13, oh my God!
They got to have some 20-point games to start the season because they won't have them in that middle stretch there. I think their saving grace is the Jets. Like, the Jets is probably going to be a team that they can score on. They might be able to win those games. And then they get New England to finish the season. It could be one of those situations where New England's locked up a playoff spot. They don't play anybody. That's like their other saving grace. But then starting with Las Vegas, like, that's a winnable game theoretically. It's not going to be necessarily easy. I think a lot of people are looking up on the Raiders where most people are looking down on the Dolphins here. So it is going to be tough. Yeah. But I can't say that it's impossible for them to finish that bad.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm sipping this statement because I think they just don't have skill position players, and Devon Achane obviously is there, but to think that he's going to play a full 17 games is a lot, especially when he's going to have more of a workload than he's ever had in his career at this point. So
he's going to face 11 in the box.
It's going to be fun. Maybe 12, maybe officials being there too. It's going to scare them off. They're not even going to have that. So
they're going to have 11 in the box, and Malik is still going to check it down to him.
You're right. Yeah.
So I do, for that Browns team that only had 10 points a game, they scored 24, 23, 21, and 19 and 24 that year. But they were shut out 4 different times and scored 3 points in 2 games and then 7 points in 2 games. So, yeah. Rough. That's a rough time. They had a stretch here where their 3 weeks in a row were 0-0 and 0-3 and 3, and then 10 before that. Golly, that's a tough stretch. And then they had 19 against the Patriots, 10 against the Titans, then 7 against the Ravens. They mustered 7 against the Ravens. Wow. Yeah, Ravens held them to 0 game 1, 7 game 2. In 120 minutes of football, they scored 7 points against the Ravens. And that touchdown was probably by mistake.
Yeah, probably not
like,
even an offensive touchdown.
Probably just some
Honestly.
mistake touch. I'll have to check that here in just a second just to see what that touchdown was because now I'm curious. But all right, I'm sipping that statement. Timmy, you kind of answered ish, but you said sip.
I am actually going to take a shot. I do think that there's a very good chance that this happens. Like you said, it is only Achane here. He is the only piece. Like, Malik can run, but who's he going to throw it to? Nobody. Malik Washington's not going to be good enough, or it's just not going to work, in my opinion. So, that being said, like, on top of that, they have a bad offensive line. They're going to have a terrible defense. So, they're going to have a lot of 3 and outs. Their defense is going to be tired. They're probably going to have a crazy point differential here. All of that being said, they drafted pretty well this year. I think they made a lot of picks that made a lot of sense. So, like, this won't be my statement at all next year. It'll be a lot better next year. I know it's going to be terrible this year. Next year, it won't be that bad.
So I just want to say the Browns scored, it looks like, on their first drive of the game on a 4-yard rushing touchdown. I can't fully deep dive into exactly what happened on a play-by-play at the moment. Let me see. Just a return. Okay, I'll dive into that here in just a second. We'll figure that out. But
they started out hot. They felt confident. And it was
right here. Shout out Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson completes a pass to Kevin Johnson for 67 yards. So just one breakdown in coverage that allowed one busted play that allowed to a 4-yard rushing touchdown, and that was it. That was one drive they had. And in the game, they had 84 net yards passing and 54 sack yards. So pretty much from that point in the game on, they were sack yards and net were 54, and they got like 25 yards of net passing, or like 18 of net passing yards. It just wasn't working for them. That's hilarious. But with it being 3 of us, and since we already did it on one, what we'll do is, do you want to give the records now, or do you want to just give records at the end? We'll just kind of breeze.
Let's do it at the end because we're already halfway through.
Yeah, because we're already halfway through. Okay, figured so. I'll go next and do mine. And mine, I got the Buffalo Bills for mine. And my statement for the Buffalo Bills is Josh Allen and the Bills are overrated.
Ooh. Tim, go first.
You're not the first person that I've heard say this. I saw an interview, I don't know who it was with, but it was a player on a bad team saying that the Bills were bad. In the NFL, a player in the NFL was saying this, and I don't know, might have been a Brown, it might have been a Colt or something, and I thought it was funny coming from them, of all people.
It come from a bad team.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'll sip. I don't think they're overrated. I think they're still a great team. I think they will still dominate a lot of games. I think the offense could be a little bit better than it was last year, this year. But like, I'm still not super confident in the defense, which is where they become overrated. And partial was on Josh Allen. Like, the reason why they've lost in the playoffs the last 6 years in a row or whatever, most of the time does come down to like things that Josh Allen does or the defense does. So I don't think they're overrated. I think they are properly rated as one of the best teams. When it comes to like, if you were saying as a Super Bowl contender, they're overrated, I think I would take a shot at that. Like, I'm not picking the Bills to go to the Super Bowl this year, and I hate to say it, I probably won't pick them for as long as, Josh Allen's tenure goes. I don't think I will pick them just because they don't get over the hump. That's just how it is. That's why they are overrated. But as a football team, they're not overrated. They are a double-digit win team every single year. The defense will be middle of the pack to good, and they will be on a lot of highlight reels. They'll be on a lot of primetime games that we remember for years to come. They're a good football team. They just don't have what it takes to win a Super Bowl. Maybe they do now without McDermott there. Maybe that's what it takes. But So that's why I'm sipping. I'm like in between. If you had said as a Super Bowl team, absolutely, I'll take a shot. But just as a team, I'll sip.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a piss on this one. I agree with Tim. Like the way you phrase this, Keenan. Like obviously it's straightforward, but it very much reminds me of the conversations we've had about the Chiefs over the years, who obviously had postseason success. But man, like those last 2 years where they won the Super Bowl and then faced the Eagles and lost in the Super Bowl, it was so ugly. And they scored 21 points a game. I don't want to sound like a casual here, but like they did get help from officials. Like they just did. And like the Bills have a good product on the field. Like they can move the ball on offense. They can score at will. The defense is questionable and the defense has been questionable. Okay. And then in playoff games, yes, they've lost a lot of big games, but they're much like that fighter who's been in big fights but can't get over the hump. He's a worthy competitor, but he just might not win the big title fight. So like they'll go toe to toe. They might step on their own foot. You know what I mean? But they'll be in those games. And then in the regular season, Josh Allen, I don't think has lost, or excuse me, I don't think he's won below 11 games. I think 11 games is literally the floor for Josh Allen as a starter. So we can't call them overrated. Once we get to the record, though, I can't wait to have that talk. And quickly, just some thoughts I'm having about the Bills as a contender. They almost have to win it this year, Keenan, because like there's no reason for me to.
Last year.
Same thing last year. Like last year for sure. Last year everything was set up for them and they didn't do it right. This year it's going to be a lot tougher. Here's the thing, though. I have no reason over my entire lifetime to believe in the Jets at all. But like they do have a lot of first round picks coming. And whether this Aaron Glenn thing works out or not, they might have another crack at getting a good head coach. Again, I have no reason to believe it, but it should be tougher between the Jets and the Dolphins in the coming years. Like Tim just said, the Dolphins are set up. They might get a quarterback in the draft. Like it will get tougher. This year in particular, it's just them and the Pats. And I don't think there's any argument about that. But hey, man, you better get to 11 wins. And we'll talk about it in our division predictions as far as record goes. They got a super fucking tough schedule, like a ridiculously tough schedule. So this year's not going to be easy at all.
So my statement, I'm taking a sip of it, and it really depends on which quarters of either the football mainstream landscape or what landscape you kind of assume and what your thoughts are on the Bills. And I say that because naturally, if you're saying something, I'm just going to say something like Jokic is overrated. Like that, there's just in no way, shape, or form could you ever say Jokic to me is overrated. Like there's not the conversation I have. He is a champion. He's done everything. Like I just don't know how you could overrate him unless you're saying he's the best player to ever live. But when it comes to the Josh Allen and the Bills, I don't think they're one of the 3 best teams in the league, but they're a worthy team. Of course, like you don't look at them like they're a slouch. They're clearly a playoff contender, and with Josh Allen, they can win big games, so you have to put them in that Super Bowl contention bubble. But if you think they're one of the 3 best teams, and I know people lean towards that because they lean into Josh Allen being like it, and I know people feel now he's the best quarterback in the league. I know Bill Barnwell said that he'd have him on his all-decade team, which I think is insane over Mahomes at this point for what they've done in this decade. Like little things like that. Dan Orlovsky came up with a list, and pretty much there was nothing that like Mahomes at this point right now in time does better than Josh Allen, and that his decision-making was the best in the game. And like that's the one thing a lot of people say about Josh Allen isn't the best thing about him is his decision making. It's the first playoff game against the Texans. What are we doing with the lateral? Like he has those, and it's not like it's just left because we saw what happened last year in the playoffs. So that's why I think they're slightly overrated, because I feel like Josh and the Bills sometimes can get talked about as if they're just very, very upper echelon, and I think that's a little too high for them. But clearly a really good team, clearly can play, clearly a team that every year with him, because he is such a good player, have a chance to go do something special. But they're like, if you think they're on the Rams level or a Seahawk level teams we haven't talked about yet, we'll get more into them. My personal opinion on the Seahawks. I know other people feel differently. I just think it's a little overrated. So it just really depends on what media circle you're in.
Yeah, I don't even think it's about media though. Like for them, it's if they had any semblance of a defense, a consistent defense, like the Rams kind of have this issue too, but like if they had a defense that we could kind of hang their hat on, this would be consistently probably a 13, 14 win team, let alone 11 win team. You know what I mean? And
yeah, 1,000%.
And their floor is 11 wins, and they're not flaming out in the playoffs necessarily.
No,
so it's hard to call them overrated just for that reason.
It's similar to the Packers and with Aaron Rodgers. Those defenses were never really great, but Aaron was so great every year. The difference with him and Josh is Josh has always been healthy. Aaron was healthy, not healthy a few years, but every year it was, that's a playoff team, most likely winning the division, if not very much competing if the Bears had a random good year or the Vikings had a random good year, and they're going to be a tough out in the playoffs, is most likely what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. I feel similar to that, but at the time, to my memory, I know I was obviously in like my late teens, I don't feel like we were talking about the Packers every year as like one of the 4 best contenders. It was more like they were like they have Aaron Rodgers, so they have a chance. And that's more so what this Bills team feels like, because they have a couple pieces. Like they have a good offensive line, obviously a really good running back in James Cook. With DJ Moore, maybe that adds to their receiving room enough to where you feel very confident in the ball catching unit there. But their defense is fine. And then, so like their team, it feels like their team has a lot of holes, but then it's like, okay, Josh can kind of put on the Superman cape, but then when he puts on the Superman cape in the playoffs, sometimes that has led to a lot of turnovers, which has been partial for some of their losses. Obviously, missed field goal, some defensive lapses, some plays here and there, but overall, yeah. So we all have different reasons, but I think we all have, okay, I'll pissed on the statement, we sipped on it, but, last team, or is there anything else you want to say about the Bills?
Jets.
Jets gonna jet.
Jets, Jets.
What's up? The Jets. Kyle, take it away.
The Jets will win a game against all 3 divisional opponents this year. So just they'll take a game. They'll split with every divisional team. Tim or Keenan, take it away.
I got it. I'm going to take a sip. I hate to sip so many, but I think the Jets will be a little bit better than people think they are. Like, a lot of people just go right to, they're the Jets. They're like the Browns. They're one of the worst teams in the league, no matter what. I think Geno will be competent. Like, they have pieces on offense. They take a first-round tight end. Maybe that helps them. They have Breece Hall. They have Garrett Wilson. At the end of the season, Adonai Mitchell was looking all right. So, like, maybe as a wide receiver too, that's enough to sustain Geno Smith being not a terrible quarterback. And then you pair that with the MetLife turf and a couple injuries, and they're in every single game that they're playing at home. So I can sip this saying that there's a chance that they just play them tough, and it's close, and then a miracle happens and they get there. I'll sip. I'm willing to sip, because I do think while their record might not show them as a good team at the end of the year, they will be like a low-key competitive team in a lot of games this year. So I'll sip. I think it wouldn't be crazy if they won all 3 of these. If they do,
I'll piss on that statement.
they piss on it. That might be their only 3 wins this year. So
we're heading straight to the bathroom instantaneously, and we're throwing the drink at the bartender. This isn't happening, and the reason why it's not going to happen is they're not beating the Patriots twice, just or once at all. Just not happening. We don't lose to the Jets. And the same way, if it was the Dolphins, I would say the Bills aren't losing to the Dolphins. We can lose to the Dolphins. The Patriots, we randomly will lose to the Dolphins every other year. We're just not losing to the Jets. So that statement could be out. The Bills may lose to the Jets because they randomly, for some reason, get a game against the Jets where it's like, they just self-combobulate. They just discombobulate. The Aaron Rodgers game where it's like, oh, Josh just 4 turnovers. Aaron Rodgers goes out on the first drop back. And yeah, but so to me, just no, get that out of here. They're not beating the Patriots this year. So unfortunately, it can't be all 3 division teams. They might get 3 division wins. That could happen. I'd be more inclined to say that's going to happen.
I'm going to take a sip of my own statement. For all the reasons Tim stated, like, I do think this is going to be a competitive team. I do think Geno is going to be better than what he was with the Raiders last year. That's why I took such offense to Keenan having him as the 32nd quarterback in the league. Because, I mean, if you've seen Shador and Deshaun at all this preseason, like, it's just ugly. And I think Geno at least will have a couple more weapons to throw to. And he's got a decent offensive line. I don't think he'll go back to, like, what he was with the Seahawks a couple years ago, but I do think he'll be better. I think he'll at least be league average. And they're gonna win at least one, if not both, against the Dolphins. They're definitely competent enough to steal one against, one of the Bills or the Patriots. I'd hope it's not the Patriots, but we see it every year, no matter the division. There's always that fucking weird ass game where the bum team in the division or the mid team in the division just steals one against one of the elites in the division. So this will all be about Aaron Glenn. If Aaron Glenn actually is a good coach, they could absolutely steal one against each of them because the talent's there for it. But if Aaron Glenn looks anything like he did last year, where literally the highlight of their season was that dance he did on the sideline. Remember, this team did not force an interception at all last season. So, like, the streak will be still going probably after week 1 for all we know. Who knows? I think they do get the Titans week 1, so they probably do get a pick there. So, but
maybe
all that to say, like, the Jets be the Jets. They're going to do what the Jets do. I have no reason to think they'll turn it around, but I do like their roster a little bit more, and I do think they'll be competitive. So I'm going to sit my own statement.
Okay. Fair, for me, I just don't see it. The Jets are won 2 games against the Patriots since 2016, and when one was with Bailey Zappi at QB and the other was Jacoby Brissett and a little bit of Drake May. That was the game where Drake May got the concussion.
One of them was an extreme snowstorm.
Yeah, so
and then I think the other one was a fluke win during the Brady era, like during OT. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, it was 26-20 in OT, and that was the game that Bill Belichick said we defer when we won the toss, I believe.
I think we went to receive, and I think the ref messed it up. Remember that?
Something happened, but we did not we won the toss and gave the ball to the Jets. And it was one of those things.
We gave y'all entertainment every Sunday, even on the coin toss and overtime. We gave y'all.
There was 2 overtime games that the Patriots have lost pretty much, and then before that, you had to go all the way back to the Mark Sanchez days when the Patriots don't lose to the Jets. It's just not happening. And if it does, you know what? I'm going to be really, really upset because it's one of the only teams in the league that I don't like is the Jets. Bills are fine. Dolphins are fine. Jets suck. We don't like the Jets. Alrighty. Well, let's go through this division here. We'll start with the 2 worst teams, and then we'll go with the 2 best teams here, and then we'll go from there. Guys,
start with the Jets.
So let's start with the Jets since we're on them right now. Record for the Jets.
I'll go quickly here. 6 or 7. I'm leaning more towards 6. So I'm going to go 6-win team. They're going to be competitive. They're not, as long as they stay healthy. And again, as long as Aaron Glenn can be like Robert Saleh level of coaching, they'll at least be a bitch to play. And if not, if this defense can't get it together, which by the way, Keenan, my original question before this was going to be, will Aaron Glenn coach 17 games? But I think that's kind of like blah, because we could do that with any coach that's on the hot seat. And honestly, if he's bad, they'll probably still let him coach 17 and then just get him out of there at the end. But I think 6. Yeah, I'm not going to say anymore. I think 6. I was going to say something kind of outlandish, but I ain't going there.
Okay. Kyle, 6 and 11.
Give me 3, 13, and 1.
Ooh. That's a very competitive 3, 13, and 1 after what you just said.
I think they'll be competitive, but they're still the Jets, so they are still like a bad team. Like the defense, in my mind, isn't just going to get it together this year. They traded away their two best pieces last year, so like if anything, getting it together is still a pretty bad unit. So competitive, sure. Winning, no. A tie.
Who are they tying? And Keenan, is this the first tie that we've had in our predictions ever?
So we've obviously had them in our weekly predictions. I don't think we've had them in our actual predictions yet.
Even going back to the notebook days.
I don't think I've predicted a tie ever in my history.
Get used to it, folks.
Okay.
More ties possibly. What a teaser.
Well,
who are they tying?
If you'll hear it in just a minute.
Okay, all right. That's true. That's right. Throw me
under. Wow, Kyle, you're trying to jump the gun. My goodness, just calm down. Just kidding. So I've got the Jets at 4-13. I don't think they're really that great of a team. I think they will play games where the first half of the game might be 14-10, and then the second half, in the fourth quarter, it gets away from them a little bit. But I don't think they're good enough to close out these games. So they might be a team where it's, if you are playing very bad or you're sleeping on them, they actually can maybe sneak a win out. But I don't think they're good enough to really go get games. Also, do we know the health status of Breece Hall? Didn't he go down with a non-contact?
He did a non-contact groin injury.
I was gonna say, I think he went down with a non-contact and he was out for a minute. I don't know his health status, but
another groin injury.
Dude, they're so common. I'm not joking. Groinindex.com. It'll be hundreds.
Insane. All right, we'll move on to the Dolphins. I'll quickly go because I was already talking. 3-14. Sure. They're the worst team in the division. I don't think they're going to be good. They don't really have much defensively, much offensively. I don't think they care to have much. I think what they're trying to do is hope that Arch Manning's Dan Marino and figure it out from there. So I don't think they have a whole lot.
I will take them at 3-13-1.
Ooh. So my question is, who's the worst team in the division for you? Who gets the tiebreaker?
The Dolphins. Dolphins are the worst.
Love it. They both are 3-13-1, but the Jets get a win against the Bills or the Dolphins and get the tiebreaker in the division. Oh no, actually, sorry. The Jets beat the Dolphins, and so they have the better record against
them. Yeah, exactly.
Love it.
All right, so this division gets the AFC West as well as the NFC North. The only team they could be out of either one of those divisions is the Raiders. And then the only team they could be in division is the Jets. So,
and they get the Raiders week 1, which could either be a blessing or a curse. Because it's week 1 where everyone's obviously at their most rested. And it's not like each team have real continuity because you have a new coach and a new quarterback in both places. So it's pretty much trying to figure all that out.
I want to pick this team as 2 wins, but it's like Arizona's got a horrible schedule. But then again, Arizona's at least got talent. You can win a game where like all of a sudden Harrison Jr.'s got like a career day kind of thing. The Dolphins
Jacoby will throw the thing.
Yeah, true.
He'll throw it around.
Malik, like the history on this type of signing is like awful, like dead awful with this type of Malik Willis signing. So you know what? Give me 2-15 just for the hell of it. I'm not even a Dolphins hater. I wish it was the Jets, but 2-15.
Okay. And so next we're gonna go with Kyle. Kind of alluded to them, so we're gonna go next with the Buffalo Bills. Timmy, what do you got?
I've got them as my division winner at 13-4.
13-4. Okay.
I'm having trouble with this. I think all summer I had it pinned like Bills are going to win the division. Pats are going to be right there. And prior to the A.J. Brown trade, I think I would have had the Pats as a 9-win team. And we know the Pats schedule is tough. So I'm like, all right, let me boost them up to 10. And originally it was going to be Patriots 10, Bills 11 wins, Bills win the division. Let me read off this schedule to you guys, though. This is somehow a worse schedule than the Pats, who were a first place schedule, all right? They open up at Texans. Then they get, this is their saving grace. They do get Lions, then the Chargers, then the Pats at home. So you can say 2-2.
The fact that it was home, not the three teams.
Yeah, right. Not the teams at all. The fact that it's home, and it'll be a new home, by the way. And I think it's open roof. But then after those 3 home games that are tough, they get the Rams. After the Rams game, they get the Raiders. All right, you get a letdown there. And then boom, Ravens, Vikings, letdown with the Jets and Dolphins. Then you got Chiefs, Pats, Packers, Bears, Broncos, and then end with the Dolphins and Jets again. That's a super tough schedule. I'm going to stick with my 11. I really am. I don't feel great about it given the schedule, but if they really are that team, they should at least go 2-2 in the beginning there and then like split all the other games and then beat the Dolphins and the Jets, even though there's a chance that, the Jets steal one from them, as I said. But those Dolphin games should be a gimme. They, in theory, should split with the Pats. But it's a tough one. That's one of the tougher schedules in the league. And, at Texans, the Texans have always given Josh Allen hell, so they could start 0-1. And, if they happen to start 0-4 with that schedule, if they just happen to, if anything just happened to happen, like an injury or anything, win on a loss or lost on a field goal at the end there, like any sort of just bad luck to start the season, it's going to be really hard for them to turn it around. So there's a world where the Bills just miss the playoffs altogether. I'm not going to bet that, but there is a world that's not far away where that happens.
I mean, realistically, they could easily start the season 1-4. That worse, you would assume 3-2, 2-3. If they are 4-1 or 5-0, that's when you're like, oh boy.
Then Josh Allen's winning MVP. Like, no joke.
It's like, oh boy.
If they come out of the 12, 13, 14 side of this, like Josh Allen's going to be either MVP or runner up.
Yeah, no, and then they get that little reprieve in the middle that does have a Ravens game, but the Raiders, Ravens, Vikings, Jets, Dolphins, that's a reprieve compared to that first 5. But then going into a KC at the point where Mahomes should probably be healthier right on a Thursday night game. That's a Thursday night game for them? Ew. Anyways, I think it's Thanksgiving. Never mind. I think that's Thanksgiving, so never mind. That makes sense. But Kansas City, then New England, then Green Bay, then Chicago, then at Denver. Like that's another just 5-game gauntlet. With all that said, because of that, I do have the Bills at 11-6. I think that they're going to start off a little slow. Probably 2-3-ish. Get some wins there. Then end a little slow, end in the middle end a little slow, and then I think they just win the last 2 games. So I think they end up probably going into the last couple weeks that'd be 9-6 with the Bills make sure they gotta win before they get to the playoffs, and then they play the Jets and the Dolphins, and you're like, okay, they probably are gonna win to get to the playoffs. But will they be my division winner? I'll tell you in a moment. Alrighty, and last but not least, shout out Brandon. We have got the New England Patriots. Timmy, we'll start here with you.
I have the Patriots 10-7. I have them as my first team out of the playoffs.
Wow.
Oh.
Just missing it.
Mm-hmm.
See, and it's not even crazy because there's so many teams. Just off the top, you've got, obviously in this division, the Bills and the Patriots. And then in the West, you've got the Chargers, Broncos, and Chiefs, all playoff contenders. The Jags and the Texans. And then you've got the Bengals and the Ravens. So that's 9 teams there. You never know if there is a surprise team, but that's 9 teams there and only 7 spots. So somebody's got to be the odd man out, unfortunately. I have it as the Jags as one of them. We'll talk about another one here moving forward. But I have the Jags as one of them as mine. Kyle, what do you have the Patriots at before I go?
10-7 in the playoffs. I nearly flipped it with the Bills. I like the Patriots' start to the season better than the Bills, obviously, as we just read. But also, a lot of it depends on like how you feel about that Seahawks game. Not saying that's going to determine a lot. I mean, obviously, that's game one, but like the beginning's, I guess, tough enough or sketchy enough, like depending on how you feel about the Steelers and depending on how you feel about the Jags. But if the Patriots win that opening game on the road, then you have to feel pretty good about those games afterwards. And then, like, I don't know, because their schedule heats up towards the end. Whereas the Bills, it's like one game reprieve and then like or 2 games here and there. And then then you got a gauntlet. The Patriots, like week 8 on, it gets really tough. And we'll see what they're made of. And honestly, like, it's been a roller coaster. Like, we ain't even really talked about this, but like when the Vrabel stuff popped off with Rossini in the beginning of the offseason, me and Keenan were like, man, we don't feel great. And I did not feel great about this team up until AJ Brown. And then like even up till today, I might feel a little better about the Patriots and the Bills, even though I'm picking the Bills to win the division. Like, I kind of want to flip it. You know what I mean? So I've been on a roller coaster of emotions with this team. But at the end of the day, I'm feeling more bullish on them than I did even a month ago. So I do like this Patriots team. Man, can't wait to see what happens. But I'm gonna stick with my initial gut reaction, which is Bills 11, Pats 10.
So before the AJ Brown trade, I had the Patriots at 10-7. I thought they could be as worse as probably 8-9. The best would be 12-5. So I had them at that middle 10-7. I think the AJ Brown trade gives them a game for me. So I have them also 11-6, but I also have them sneaking out the division. I just think that the Bills just have a little bit tougher of a schedule because those second place games are, I would rather see, when we have already talked about this division, if you guys haven't seen us talk about it, go back to it. I'd rather see the Jags than the Texans. I'd rather just those couple, and not that both of them are.
Especially when it's week 1 on the road.
Yeah, I was going to say, both of them are tough games. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not trying to make it seem like the Jags are a bad team, but I'd rather see the Jags than the Texans. That's just my feelings on it. So little things like that, where it's like, oh, okay, this kind of can get a little scary there. And so instead of seeing the Ravens, we're seeing the Steelers, because the Ravens came second in the division rather than the Steelers being second in the division. And obviously we'd rather see the Steelers than seeing the Ravens. So little things like that, to where I have them both 11-6, but I have the Patriots eking out the division. Obviously, I do think the Bills have very big capabilities of winning the division if you're going to be a team that's also 11-6. So we'll just get a little quick view of this before we go on. My division there, Patriots 11-6 in the playoffs, Bills 11-6 in the playoffs, the Jets at 4-13, the Dolphins at 3-14. Then we got Kyle as the Bills as the division winner at 11-6, 10-7. The Patriots do make the playoffs, 6-11 for the Jets, 2-15 for the Dolphins. Then the Timmy has the Bills at 13-4, the Patriots at 10-7, just missing the playoffs. 13-1 for each of the Jets and the Dolphins losing the tiebreaker between the two, being the worst team. So that is what we've got for the AFC East. Good one here. We had to obviously try to fill in for Brandon. It happens, but hey, we're here. We've got the AFC West coming right around the corner here. So if you haven't seen that, or haven't seen any of the other ones, the AFC South and the AFC North, go check out those ones. After this, go check out the AFC West. This has been the Warner Brothas Podcast with Keenan, Timmy, and Kyle. Appreciate all of you guys here, and we'll be seeing you guys again very soon.